Hi Virgo, my name's Raheem. This is the Modern Spiritualist. So today I am doing the July 2020 General Tarot reading for the sign of Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you know your sun sign and it's Virgo, you're in the right place. If you know your moon and your rising sign, make sure to look for those as well, and we will go ahead and get started. I already pulled the cards, so I'm just going to take you through the month. We've got 2 cards each week, roughly, through the month of July, and I've got another clarifier for this last week here. So, I've got the Four of Pentacles paired with the Ace of Cups for the first week. In the second week, we have the Page of Pentacles paired with the Wheel of Fortune, which is awesome. I haven't pulled that card. I rarely pull that card, to be honest. So, in the third week of July, we have the Devil with the Five of Wands. And then in the fourth week, we have the Queen of Cups paired with the Two of Swords and the Three of Cups. Alright, so, for the first week. The Four of Pentacles is all about resources, what's coming in, what's coming out, saving, things like that, frugality. So, I think that's what you guys are doing. You're thinking about first of all, you're thinking about your money, Virgo. Do you have enough money coming in? Is it coming in from sources that you like? And then where is it going? Are you spending your money on things that you have real value in, or are you just kind of like unnecessarily spending? Those are good things to kind of hack out to make sure that there's this flow of energy. And then also take stock of non-financial resources. So examples of that can honestly be like your own self. Like resources can be strength, creativity, charisma, intelligence, things like that. Those are all resources. And then also just like things you get from the land, like, food, fresh water, sunlight, air. Those are all resources. So take stock of everything that makes your life possible, all the resources that you use, and then wherever your resources are, see how you can use them effectively to get more resources. Like that's kind of the way it goes. Like the more you utilize the resources that you do have, the more you tend to receive back because you're using the things that get you more things, if that makes sense. And so, one of the biggest things that I've learned about money specifically is that the more that I accept what I do have and use what I have, the more I start to get things from other sources. And so money is just one resource, and the spirit world doesn't view it as any different from any other resource. They think it's all the same. That's what I always run into when I do, shamanic work, is that helping spirits don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about money. They know what I'm talking about, but they don't see it any different from the fact that I have, like, clean water every day. You know what I mean? So, think about the way that your resources in general, which includes money, but it's not limited to money. Think about the way that it's cycling, and then think about if it's cycling in a way that that makes you happy, that makes you feel like you're accounted for. Do you feel like you have enough? And what can you do to get you the resources you need to do other things that you want to do, right? So that's kind of what you're thinking about. The clarifier is the Ace of Cups, which is one of the most beautiful energies in the Tarot deck. If you can see here, there's kind of like this cup, and it's running over, it's overflowing. There's all this beautiful, pure energy kind of emanating from the cup, and then also see that there's this cord running down, up the card and then down the card. So I would say quite literally this translates to make sure that you're connected with the above and below, because those are your purest resources. The below is the earth. It's where you find grounding, stability, home, place, sure-footedness, things like that. Helps you feel here, helps you feel solid, and well taken care of. And then the above, which can be like celestial bodies like sunlight, starlight, things like that, good old vitamin D, or the highest power of the universe, however you understand it. You're getting protection, you're getting inspiration, you're getting imagination, creation, things like that. So make sure that you're connecting with both, that you're drawing in the resources from both and allowing those energies to work in your body in ways that allows you to see your resources a little bit differently. Like use this to your advantage to understand this resource energy a little bit better. It will kind of open you up to the fact that basically everything's a resource, right? And with this card can also come sort of like an emotional rebirth energy, which I've also noticed that money and emotions are like very connected to each other too. For those of you that are into astrology, if you think of like Venus, it rules money and it also rules love. It's like kind of the same thing. So basically, if you have a stagnation emotionally, that tends to manifest financially, or I've found at least. So this is great because it's an indication that you're kind of opening yourself up and maybe allowing more easy flow. And the more flow that you have within your own emotional world, the more flow you'll have in your life. So it looks like those are the kinds of things you're working on in that first week. Coming into the second week, we have the Page of Pentacles paired with the Wheel of Fortune. So this, I mean, if you'll see here, this Page of Cups energy, we have this woman, and she's, I mean, I guess you can't really see it through the screen at least, but she's got this yin-yang symbol here, and it's yellow, which is like the color of earth and harvest and abundance and things like that, and then she's supposed to be pregnant. So this element of the pregnancy is kind of what's coming to my mind. Doesn't mean that you're actually pregnant, although it definitely could mean that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. It can also mean that you're nurturing the seed of something. And because it's pentacles, it's like something that, if properly nurtured, will manifest in your physical material life, and you'll have real world gains from it in some capacity. And so I get the sense that there's some sort of seed growing in you, and I think it's an idea. I think for most of you, I'm getting some sort of idea or vision for the future for your financial world, for your resources. But just be really careful. It's kind of like, you know how pregnant women aren't supposed to like eat certain things or like exercise heavily after a certain gestation period. Like they're supposed to take care of their baby that they're growing, right? It's a really vulnerable, kind of fragile place to be in, and I think that's where whatever this idea is, whatever the seed is for you, that's kind of where you're at with it. So make sure that you're really taking good care of that, taking good care of it, even if that means that you don't tell other people what you're thinking about, or like most other people, maybe like really, really trusted people, right? But like protect what you're thinking about so that it doesn't sour early, because it's paired with this Wheel of Fortune energy, and this Wheel of Fortune means that whatever this seed is, if you grow it properly, there's going to be like a real turn of events for you that makes things different for you. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune, this is making and breaking cycles, and this is quite literally good luck, the turning of the wheel, the turning of the fortune. And because we have this like resource card here and then the Wheel of Fortune here, I see a real opportunity. I'm not saying it like 100% will happen, because if you just sit around and don't do anything, you're going to miss it. But there's a real opportunity here for your financial situation to change. So whatever this seed is, take good care of it, right? And let it gestate. You know, when you first plant seeds and you water them, they don't necessarily sprout right away. You want to give it time and the earth to grow roots and things like that. So make sure that you do that. That period of pregnancy, that period of the seed in the earth, is really, really vital to your success. So take care of it. And in the third week, we have the Devil paired with the Five of Wands. So I get the sense that whatever this brand new idea that you have here, you may be having a lot of fear and self-doubt surrounding it, which is super normal anytime you set off on something really new, especially if it's something that could really bring gains to you. There can be a real nervousness about that. And so I get the sense that you may be fighting with yourself on whether or not to take action on what you're thinking about, on the seeds that you're planting. And you may just be like kind of equal parts excited and terrified, right? They kind of go hand in hand. So if any defensive thoughts come up, or any thoughts of self-doubt, or like, don't do this, you'll fail, don't do this, you're not good enough, don't do this, it's going to be a disaster, right? All of those voices that come in when you're about to step into an unknown. I mean, it's biological. It's completely normal to be afraid of what you don't know yet, right? But that does not mean that you should let that fear control you. So try to hold space for your fear and do it anyway, you know? So yeah, I would just challenge the voices that come up, and then also ask them. Don't be mean to these voices because these voices are trying to protect you, right? So also ask them, what are they afraid of, and what are they doing to try to protect you, and then what can you do for them to kind of manage your fear and get these feelings and fears to trust you enough to basically, I mean, you don't have to be fearless, but you have to be unparalyzed, right? So, like, what can you do to release enough of the energy that you can put one foot in front of the other, regardless of your fear, right? Fear is okay and normal, but don't let it control you because that's what keeps you stuck. And with the Five of Wands, I just get the indication again, this fighting thing, and it could just be fighting with yourself, like the thoughts of you wanting to move forward versus the thoughts of you that want you to stay exactly where you are. You could be fighting with other people, which brings me back to make sure that you're taking really good care of this idea. Don't let people sway you, and tell you that you can't do something, basically. So that's why I get the sense that maybe don't tell everyone whatever you're doing. Don't tell people that it doesn't feel safe to entrust with those kinds of things, because you may end up in a fight, and if you do, don't let them change your mind. And if you're just fighting with yourself, then I would ask the people that you know that you can trust to support you, and kind of help you unpeel the thoughts that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you kind of locked in dynamic with yourself. And all of this, I mean, you may feel discomfort, but it's not a bad thing. It's just an indication that you're growing when you kind of brush up against, that energy that's kind of like, oh no, that means that you're doing something really new, and that's growth. That's growth. So express appreciation and gratitude. We talked about gratitude here. And here, express gratitude for the process itself, even the parts that are uncomfortable, because this is all showing you that you're moving forward. It's really, really good. And then the fourth week, we have the Queen of Cups, which is a really, really, really peaceful energy. So I get the sense that whatever you fight out, kind of midweek in the third week, it looks like it resolves itself because you have peace here. There's peace. It looks like you find a resolution. And paired with the Two of Swords and the Three of Cups. So the Two of Swords, in other decks, it's a little more volatile than in this deck. This does indicate that you may have a decision to make, but I also get the sense that you've kind of, through the entire month, you've been making up your mind, and then by the time this energy kind of shows up, you've already made up your mind. So I would just use this kind of moment to affirm your decision, to double check with all the parts of you and make sure that you're still gonna go through with whatever this is, and then also make sure that this decision is a balanced decision. Make sure that it's equal parts head and heart, right? Because if you're all heart and no head, you're not gonna get anything done. And if you're all head and no heart, it's passionless, right? And there's no risk involved, which means that nothing really happens either. So make sure it's equal parts head and heart. Make sure that you've made up your mind, and then once you do, make sure to celebrate, because this is pure celebratory energy. This is celebrating with others, with people that you love, so it looks like the people that you lean on through this kind of self-fight energy are going to be really key to you ultimately making your decision and moving forward with it. So once you do, and once you achieve some peace, make sure that you celebrate the new path that you're on. Celebrate your bravery, because facing fear is hard, and doing new things is hard, and so rewarding at the same time, right? So if you want to schedule a private session with me, I will leave my website in the description box below, and you can do that. If not, feel free to like, comment with questions, or I don't know, just thoughts or statements, and make sure to subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next month. Thanks, Virgo. Bye.